present your amphibian bill.
Mr. Chairman, I'm delighted to be here, and thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I'm here with some friends from Fremont County, from Pathfinder High School in Fremont County, and they have come up with a wonderful idea. I swear they've knocked it out of the park on this one. I'll tell you a little bit about Pathfinder first. Pathfinder is an alternative high school in Fremont County. It serves kids from all over. It's embedded in District 1, which is the Lander School District. So, you bet. Hi. And Mr. Chairman, these kids they're coming at their education a little different way. And they probably, they appreciate Pathfinder, Pathfinder appreciates them, but without the alternative school process, I'm not sure. I think you guys have been regular high school, and I bet they could do it now, but what I have found is that these kids have the most wonderful outlook, potential, and they've all overcome the most amazing obstacles to get right here today. This was their idea, and I'm just carrying the ball for them. So all this bill does is to designate in our list of symbols a state amphibian, which you're gonna find is so uniquely appropriate to be the state amphibian of Wyoming. We have one of those over there. He's even got a law enforcement escort from the Wyoming Police Department. And I think we should just turn this over to them, and I might make some final comments to bring it home. But I think you're gonna be impressed with these young people from Fremont County.
Chairman Case, is it legal to tote an animal like that around?
I'm not doing the toting, it's law enforcement. I did think a few years ago, remember Senator Emmerich had a bill about raccoons and things, made it so you couldn't possess those things. Remember? I voted against that bill, by the way. But I think we're totally legal. This is very unusual because most of these critters are, they're snoozing right now, you know. And they're such a unique animal to be an amphibian, and Wyoming's only salamander, and they can tolerate this extreme range of hot and cold. And this is our co-sponsor, Senator Larson, along with Representative Salazar and Representative Clifford. So the amazing thing about the range of this toad is it overlaps Wyoming. I said toad, I didn't mean to say toad. Salamander. And so I'd like to yield to our good friends from Fremont County.
Do we have a state toad?
We do. Yeah, the horny toad.
Horny toad? No?
That's a state reptile.
Oh, reptile.
State reptile is the horned toad.
Which is actually a lizard.
All right, any questions for Senator Case? Okay, thank you, Senator.
Thank you. I yield to my friends from Pathfinder High School.
Let's do the other reps first. Andy, do you have some comments?
I'm just support youth in their educational learning process to bring this bill for a symbol. They did a lot of good research. It's very empowering them to see, and what better way to learn this process to push this bill through. And the state amphibian and the splotched tiger salamander, I think it'll promote tourism. I think it'll promote some research, but bottom line is tourism to the great state of Wyoming. So that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Any questions for Representative Clifford? Thank you. Representative Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. For those of you that have been here at least as long as I can, you know how these types of bills just cause me angst. And I growl and I grumble. We've done state cookies, we've done state this, we've done state that, and I just, they are just painful to me. And I have to ask the question why we would do this. And so when these kids sent me a letter, they sent us all a letter in Fremont County, but how do I not break their heart by saying I'm a grumpy old guy just does not like these types of things. But then as they come to us and they presented their bill, and I just have to give them credit for, it's not just a nice thing that we want to do for kids from a high school in Lander, Wyoming. I think that there's some real validity to the point. It's the only salamander found statewide. It's a great barometer of the state of our ecology. I mean, if we have salamanders, life is good. It just really is. I have salamanders in my compost pile. I pull them every year when I find them, when I'm turning it. I leave them out and let all the neighborhood kids play with them. They always have a smile. You ever see a salamander? They always have a smile. And they are, I think, I would argue that they are very much the Wyoming icon. They just kind of stay out of sight. They're quiet. They do their job just like we like to do, and they're always smiling. And so then I had to ask myself, so is it a valid, is it a worthy thing that we would spend time on the floor, spend time, put something new in the green books? And I will argue and submit to you that there will come a time that we will have a state amphibian. Might be after we go, but that has been, we do these state things. That's why we have a state lizard that's a state reptile, you know, and why we have some of these things, the Indian paintbrush and the things that we have. So if we're gonna have it, I think the process that that these guys have done promoting the tiger salamander to be a state amphibian is probably as worthy and as appropriate. And I have become a real strong advocate of this process, and I've come to the point of saying, is it worthy of our time? Take away what wonderful kids they are, and we don't want to send them back home to their parents with a broken heart and crying because we were mean. Is it a worthy process? And in my opinion, it is. I would really, as you hear the presentation and you talk about it, I hope that we'd have your support to have that on the floor to debate. I think it's a good cause.
Any questions for Representative Larson? Yes, Representative Freeman.
Representative Larson, up until last year, I said that I would never vote for any license plate bill, so welcome to the club.
I know. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Freeman, I believe that's the next bill is the license plate for reptiles. Representative Burlingame, do you have any comments for us?
On and for the bill.
Hey, right. Okay, let's go to the department now. Deputy Director.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Brian Nesbitt, Chief Game Warden with Wyoming Game and Fish Department, and really don't really have anything to present to you here this morning. I just wanted to make sure I was here in case you had questions. One of our wardens was asked to bring over his salamander that's a rescue salamander that was actually found by a Albany County resident crossing the snow. And so Warden Brediger from Laramie decided to go and pick up and rescue the salamander, and I'm sure this summer when it warms back up, he'll be released back to the wild again. But he'll serve a good purpose here today, so that anybody that wants to look at what one of these critters looks like, you can go over there and look at it. So.
Tough salamander.
Don't turn him loose.
Oh my God, look at that smile.
Any questions for Game and Fish? Thank you. Okay, we'll open it up to public testimony. Who wants to go first?
Could we have the children from, the kids from Pathfinder go first, Mr.
You
Chairman?
bet.
You guys are up. Be sure to introduce yourselves.
Okay.
Name and what grade are you guys in?
I'm Madison Sunday and I'm a freshman. I'm also Woody and I'm also a freshman. Keisha Bell and I'm a freshman too. I'm Kenzie Harrison, I'm also a freshman.
Okay, very good. What do you guys have to say about this?
Well, it's the only salamander in Wyoming. Yes, everybody knows that now. Yeah. But it can endure temperatures from, I think, 140 degrees to like -66 degrees, I think. And it blankets the state of Wyoming, only salamander here. And, okay, so amphibians absorb through their skin. So when they're in their environments, it's called an indicator species. If the environment is like unhealthy or something, it'll like absorb it and then their population will go down. And then we can know like, oh, there's something wrong here, let's fix it. And if it's all healthy, everything's okay, then their population stays the same or it goes up.
Okay. Madison, was it?
Alyssa.
Alyssa, okay. Any questions for, yes, go ahead.
So I'm curious about the process you went through to find this amphibian, of all the amphibians that we have. understanding that this is a unique one in that it's the only salamander, but what, did you look at all amphibians, or did you start with this and say, this is why, salamander should be our amphibian, or did you, research other amphibians to see what their possibility of being our state amphibian?
Go ahead, through the chairman.
Okay, so I have to say Mr. Chairman?
You're supposed to, yeah.
Okay, okay, Mr. Chairman. So last year, we weren't in high school, obviously, but, they were learning about state amphibians, and they were also learning about, not state amphibians, sorry, amphibians and state symbols. And they saw, oh, only salamander in Wyoming. I think we just went straight to that.
Thank you.
Okay, further questions? Representative Flitner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Ladies, I grew up with that in my grade school classroom. We always had one on the counter that we would capture ourselves just above the school at Lynch, Wyoming. And so I'm curious, were you guys familiar with that before this process? Had you guys seen them in the wild?
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman. I don't think we've ever really went outside to look for them, but we came to school, we started school, and our science teacher, Dr. Woolline, had a couple in a cage that another teacher found in his garage when it was raining, and he just brought them over and then he raised them there.
Very good, further questions? Okay, any other comments, ladies?
Mr. Chairman, if maybe they would like to show you how the amazing range of this salamander.
Well, I believe, Senator Case, they said it covers the whole state of Wyoming, so.
But look at this map.
Do we find these in Yellowstone also?
Yes.
Is that astounding, Mr. Chairman?
Just Wyoming,
Pretty
more or
much.
less. Interesting. Representative Flitner.
Mr. Chairman, ladies, that begs a question. Why just Wyoming? Do you know why they aren't elsewhere within the Rocky Mountain region or the United States?
Well, they don't really travel far from where they, I guess, were born. It's called micro-migration, so they travel a little distance, but not very far from their old group.
Ladies, do they lay eggs? Like, just like a frog or something like that?
Yeah.
And so they have, how many babies when they?
Well, I don't think anybody really knows, but they lay their eggs in the water, and as they mature, they can go inland and go to every ecosystem, I guess. They can go to forests, grasslands, everything, and they bring energy from their last place to the new place, and it helps it grow.
Do they start out like a tadpole or something like that?
They kind of start out like a tadpole, but they're called larvae. And okay, I'm trying to.
And they're in water when they're hatched?
Yes. They have a tail like a tadpole and they have gills, but as they like get older, their gills kind of go away and they develop lungs and they can breathe through their skin and their nose.
Okay. For the Representative Flitner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies, do you guys have any idea what the life expectancy is of one of these?
They can live up to 13 years, I think.
Fascinating. Thank you.
Further questions? Further questions? Thank you, ladies. Do you have any other comments you want to make before?
Okay, this one's really important. It has with that, like global warming. So it's called carbon sequestration. So all the leaf litter on the ground, under all of it is a bunch of carbon that's building up and going into the soil. And the little bugs that like crawl around, roll it all over and let it into the air, the salamanders eat those bugs, which stops that whole process from happening, and it keeps the carbon in the soil instead of air.
So they're good for global warming. Okay. Carbon sequestration, that's the key word. All right.
Mr. Chairman, they might tell you a little bit about the other amphibians. I think you looked into toads and frogs, right? And there are a few different species of those, but there's only one salamander. Maybe mention
Please
that.
proceed.
Well, okay, so you're probably thinking, why not the Wyoming toad, right? Because it's Wyoming. Well, the Wyoming toad is found in one county, and it doesn't really go with the Wyoming motto, it's equality, because it only represents one county. If it were called like the blue toad, would anyone care? Probably not.
I frankly didn't know about the Wyoming toad. Which county is it? Which one?
Albany County.
Albany County, okay. Yeah, we don't want that as our.
Mr. Chair, would you like to know which House district that
Oh, so you're a no on the bill?
That was her.
And what other amphibians are we overlooking here?
Well, there's the American bullfrog, there's,
We have those in Wyoming? Bullfrogs?
we have the, I think it's the plains frog, something like that. They're not really important, so I don't really remember that.
Maybe Representative Haley can add a few.
How about the chorus frog?
The which one?
Chorus frog?
Where's it found? Albany County?
No, chorus.
Do they sing choruses?
Okay.
You hear them at night, singing away.
Mr. Chairman,
Representative Flitner.
I just want to tell, you guys have done a fantastic job. You're very knowledgeable on this subject, and you are to be commended, and I think you should talk to the Game and Fish about maybe an internship this summer.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies.
And Mr. Chairman, one last thing, if
Okay.
you don't mind. Tell them what other things are going on at your school to support this, and about the resolution of the city, and your hashtag deal, and all that stuff that you guys have done. They made a video. The whole school is involved in this.
Do we have a website on the Wyoming amphibian?
We don't have a website, but there's a QR code you can scan with your phone, and it leads to a documentary we made in videography class. And we have a proclamation that the mayor gave us. And everybody in there was like, yeah, tiger salamander.
Go for it. Huh?
Yes.
Well, great. Well, we'll have to scan this and see what happens. Does this come up when you scan it?
Yeah, I think
Uh-huh.
you go to like a QR code app thingy, and you just scan it and it'll pop up with the video.
Okay, very good.
You probably know how to do that. You have that app on your phone.
Representative Yen, do you have a question?
No. He's just got all the technology to do this.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yes, Representative Freeman.
I don't either.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a alternative high school teacher for 23 years, it's just wonderful to have you guys.
How many students are in Pathfinder?
38 to 40, I think,
Okay.
full-time, and there's a couple kiddos that come from LVHS for different classes.
Okay. Very good. Okay, ladies, you guys have anything else?
Probably
Representative
keep it
Case, or
another-
Senator Case, do they have anything else?
They're doing swell, Mr. Chairman. And
Okay.
I know they thank the committee.
Well, ladies, thank you very much for coming. It's a brave thing to come before this committee because we're so tough. You did a great job, and I think your bill will be favorably received. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, further testimony on this bill, yes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Jessica Johnson, Wyoming Wildlife Federation, and I think I'm up here telling you a lot about hunters and big game and all of these charismatic animals. I'm really happy to stand up here and say that we support this bill because the little animals deserve it as well. And we're really, really happy to be here, and it's nice to have some younger women in the legislature, and I hope they come back and keep doing this, and it's just wonderful to have them here. So I ask for your support of this bill.
Questions for Ms. Johnson? Thank you. Further testimony? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Kristen Gunther from the Wyoming Outdoor Council. We are a statewide organization, but we are also a lander-based organization, so we're really proud of our Fremont County students who have come down here now a few times to testify in support of this bill. And I think many of us who were there for the Senate hearing of this bill, were supportive. We were really moved to see students come down, make this case. That's really compelling, but what I think is most exciting is that they really turned a lot of us into salamander advocates. So many of us supported the students getting involved and being down here, and that's really inspiring. But they also made a pretty incredible case for why the salamander should be the state amphibian. So I think that really speaks to the school, it speaks to these incredible students, it speaks to the teachers. And so we're really proud of these students and support this bill. Thank you.
Questions for Ms. Gunther? Thank you. Further testimony? Yes?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, I'm Cetrus Wall. I'm the principal at Pathfinder High School. So of course, I'm asking that you support the bill of our wonderful students and the work they've done. And I thought I would just take a moment to give a brief overview of the process. Our students began working on this in the spring semester, and once they realized the process in order to get a state symbol, the legislative session from last year was already over. And Senator Case was wonderful to come in and explain to the students how the whole entire process works. And they kept it going this semester, in the fall, I should say, not right now, but in the fall. And they have learned more than just about amphibians, but how the whole legislative process works, which has been a great experience for them. It's definitely been cross-curricular between our science teacher, our English videography teacher, our social studies teacher, all of our staff working together to help kids understand the legislative process. And then they probably know more about amphibians than any other student in our county because they've been so immersed in it and have this passion for it. So I just hope that you guys support our bill.
Well done.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Wall? Thank you.
Thank you.
Further testimony? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Ben Catt and I teach at Pathfinder High School. And I just want to say thank you, first of all, for letting us speak with you today. And I want to say thanks especially to Senator Case and Representative Lloyd Larson and Representative Clifford and all of our co-sponsors on this bill. We just felt incredibly overwhelmed by the support that we've had, and that has made this such a cool process. So we've learned not only a ton about salamanders, but we've learned so much about the legislature and about government and about networking with our community as a school and getting people to come in and how generous they can be with their time and how powerful that is to connect our school to community. So we really enjoyed that process. So, and I just want to commend our ladies one more time for their bravery. I'm incredibly nervous just in front of 25 of you. And they're 9th and 10th graders, so I'm very impressed with them today.
I think they were less nervous than you.
I think they were. They definitely were.
Okay, any questions for Ben?
No.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
Further testimony? Yes?
Hi, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I am Jenny Gienap, and I'm just an average citizen who lives here in Cheyenne. And I came across this bill through my distant cousin, their dear science teacher, Dr. Woolwine. So I'm just here to support them. I've really enjoyed following this bill and getting to meet these ladies the first time they came through to go before the Senate, and they did an awesome job then, as they did today. So I just really want to show my support, and I'm proud of them. So, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. Any questions for Jenny?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, further testimony? Mr. Ward.
Mr. Chair, if I must, Bob Ward, Wyoming Sportsman for Fish and Wildlife. You know, for all the reasons it's been stated, it's great. I mean, I know one thing that we talked about over in the Senate when it was presented is just the thing that I see is it's teaching some of these younger kids that there are opportunities to have a career in wildlife and wildlife management, and that's the path I chose. I have a degree in wildlife management, and it's because of things like this. I remember my high school teacher getting me excited about wildlife management, and it can be a career. But this is a great opportunity. They've done some good work, and actually as a boy, I happened to have caught a salamander when I was a kid, and I don't know if it was the blotch that was spotted. It was a tiger salamander, but it's cool. They're a very unique animal, and they've done a great job presenting. So I would encourage you to lend your support in helping establish this as our state amphibian.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Worf? Okay, further testimony. Further testimony. Going once. Girls, any other comments? Going twice? Okay, public testimony is closed. They'll bring it to the table. Committee, what's your pleasure? Moved by Flipner, second by Haley.
Mr. Chairman, I just have one other question for maybe Game and Fish. We called these Rocky Mountain salamanders when I was growing up. Is that still the moniker, or is it not?
Nope, it's the watched tiger salamander.
But it was the same. I mean,
That's what they were called when I was a kid too.
what happened to that?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Linder, I don't know, I grew up in terrestrial wildlife management, so I don't know a lot about fish and salamanders. I'm doing my best here today.
Is the Rocky Mountain salamander extinct?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Linder, I think they're the same exact animal, they're the same
Okay.
species. They just, every once in a while, there's updates to, what the scientists, when they look at subspecies and when they, classify different, animals, that they'll rename them, and then it's commonly accepted across, basically all wildlife agencies, academia, colleges, that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's work the bill. This bill creates a new section, a new paragraph in our state statute under 8-3-126, state amphibian. And it gives the scientific name and the common name. And any amendments on page 1? Any amendments on page 2? Does anyone want to make this effective immediately? Or do you want to wait until June?
No. So
Just fine.
moved. I would.
You're moving that we
That-
change it to effective immediately?
Yes, why not?
Did you note that? Do we have a second? It's been seconded? Okay, committee, question on the amendment, all those in favor say
Support the
aye.
education,
Aye.
back and forth.
Opposed, no. Back on the bill. Committee, what's your pleasure? Question on the bill.
Representative Edwards,
Aye.
Representative Flipner,
Aye.
Representative Freeman,
Aye.
Representative Haley,
Aye.
Representative Newsom,
Aye.
Representative Tass,
Aye.
Representative Winter,
Aye.
Representative Yin,
Aye.
Chairman Miller.
Aye.
Do pass as amended, 9 ayes.
Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. We can sneak out.
Okay.
Take that.